All right, welcome back to Stream of Consciousness. I am Joey Jamboree Stout, and this is Joel Crisscross Applesauce. Can't open your hand till you kiss a girl, Cox. And today we're talking about... What are we talking about today, Joel?
Well, we started the last episode.
We start almost every episode with me going, what are we talking about today, Joel? I have no clue what we're talking about ever. I think you probably told me like 10 seconds ago, and I already don't know what's going on.
Well, we started talking about cartoons and children and whatnot.
We did. We spent pretty much a whole episode talking about cartoons and video games.
Actually, we talked about video games and movies more than anything. But I wanted to get down to the point of talking about the whole cartoons, how they're not always just for children. Like, back in the day, like, I watched...
What was the first one? What was the first one? Like, Simpsons is the first one I can think of.
Yeah, probably. But what I'm trying to say is, it used to be, you saw cartoons, this is for kids, whatever. Like, it's not going to be any adult content, it's not going to be swearing, and there's nothing going to be inappropriate. If I see a cartoon on television, I can put it online, my kid can watch it. But then The Simpsons started getting a little racy, and then they went...
Well, even The Simpsons, they walked that line.
But they're also prime time. They're not like Saturday night cartoons. But then, like, I watched a lot of anime growing up, because some of the cartoons I watched as a kid, I didn't know they were anime. And they toned down some of the stuff that they normally do.
Yeah.
Because in Japan, anime is just basically a movie. They do everything they do in a movie in anime. The only difference is it's drawn. Therefore, it's, quote, cheaper, because they have animators. They don't have to buy, the special effects are given to the artists.
Right.
So basically, they can do whatever storyline they want. They don't have to worry about having a set, because they just draw the set.
And the old anime were not, like, they were not well constructed. Like, they were kind of like, the characters were more gangly and a little more floppy. It was quick movements and stuff, too.
It also depended on the style they were doing. Because there's always, when you come to animation, there's always some kind of style.
Right.
Another thing I always remember is, back in the day, when they drew cartoons, they drew cartoons.
Yeah.
But then around the mid-90s, late 90s, they started doing, like, Flash, I guess it's called, like, Flash-based, or, like, computer-generated.
Okay.
Or, like, they draw a character and then they have the computer animated. Or they just do crap. It's almost like, if you know, like, when you play a video game and you change the detail level.
Yeah.
I feel like back in the day, detail level's max. And then in the 90s, it kind of went down to low to mid-grade. Or they go bare bones. Because some of the cartoons it was just garbage.
Yeah.
And there's, on one point...
Well, if you look back even, like, the cartoons, like kid cartoons, like Bugs Bunny and like, all that Looney Tunes style of cartoons, those cartoons, I think, looked better and were clearer, even though they were older. I think they did a better job at those than, like, when you go to, like, that 90s style, like Ren and Stimpy and things like, not that it was, you can think it was a great or a horrible cartoon, whatever, but it was very
the image quality.
cheap, and the image quality went down a lot. Like, they obviously didn't put as much effort into it. It didn't really affect viewership. People still loved a lot of those.
So, like, being older, you look at some of these cartoons and stuff, and, like, yeah, it's not the same. And the other thing was, sometimes you see anime compared to cartoons, the quality is a lot better. And I remember the first time it happened, there's an anime called Macross Plus I was obsessed with.
Macross Plus?
Macross Plus.
Macross Plus.
It was based off a thing called Robotech. Robotech was my favorite cartoon as a kid.
I remember you watching Robotech.
And I found out later on in life that Robotech wasn't a cartoon, it was anime. Just like Transformers Z, and there's some other ones I used to watch as a kid. But somehow they were on, I don't even know what station they were on, but they were on television, and I was obsessed with them. But, this Macross Plus, I was watching at home. I was home for college. And the one guy swore, my dad was like, you gotta get rid of that, that's garbage. Like,
yeah, your dad, I'm sure, did not allow that. That is not
he's like, that's inappropriate. And it's kind of funny because,
he's not wrong.
Well, it's funny because I look back, I'm like, if you saw Bugs Bunny swear in the 50s or 60s whenever it came out, people would have Warner Brothers heads over it.
Oh, absolutely. People lost
their mind. But now they're making cartoons for adults now. Like, one of my favorite cartoons is Venture Brothers. It came out... Oh, when did it come out?
There's a lot of cartoons, like, a lot of them now are cartoons now are, I think, probably... I wouldn't even say 50-50 adult versus children, though. If you look at the cartoons that are out now, like, you have all this... The Cartoon Network Adult Swim is the bulk of their viewership.
2003.
2003 was... What was your show?
Venture Brothers.
Venture Brothers.
And that's what it was. It was on Adult Swim. Like, I don't know when Adult Swim came out, but that was, like, the turning point for, like, adult cartoons, I think.
Yeah, and there was some... I mean, there were some weird ones, and there's been a billion different cartoons.
Because the other thing was, Cartoon Network also did 2001 was when Adult Swim started.
Okay.
But the other thing Cartoon Network did was Toonami. When I was in college,
Right.
from 4 o'clock till 6 o'clock, they played anime. And, like, they played all sorts of different anime, and that's another reason I watched a lot when I was in college, because I had access to it. And the thing was, like, back in the day, if you want an anime, some of these things are $20 for, like, 2 or 3 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, like, being a college student or even a high school student, you didn't just go out and buy random anime, because you didn't know what it was. And they didn't really play it on television. But every now and then, like, Sci-Fi Channel did some anime for a while, and then Adult Swim did, Toonami did their thing. But, like, getting anime, it's kind of like when I was in high school trying to listen to techno.
Right.
Like, it's hard to find, when you don't have a lot of money and whatever you want to listen to is very expensive, you're very leery of buying stuff because, like, I don't know if it's crap or not. I'm not going to waste $20.
Like, and even just the other day, my kids we were flipping through on Netflix. They were looking for something to watch, and so they were looking. I think my youngest one wanted to watch the Barbie something or other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's 1,000 Barbie movies, but Barbie gets a dog and then lives in a castle or something. Whatever, I don't know, whatever it is. So she wants to watch this Barbie dog movie or whatever it is. And so the rest of them are like, no, we don't want to watch that. So they're looking through for something them all agree on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with 4 kids,
Not gonna
everything... Yeah, you got a boy that's 13, a girl that's 3, and then another boy and girl in between. No matter what movie comes up, they're just not agreeing on it. So they're flipping through, and I'm in the kitchen, and I'm like, they're like, can we watch this, Dad? Can we watch this? And I'm like, I don't care. Watch whatever you want. It's fine. And on
as long as all 4 of you agree.
right, yeah, and that's pretty much just as long as there's no fights. So on Netflix,
I want
they
a good clean
have
fight, nothing physical, nothing. But here's what's going to happen. You guys are
punch 'em in, and then they just go at each other.
Well,
so
the 3-year-old in after the 13-year-old.
My money's on her. So they have it broke down to adult station and kids station. So they go on and they have to watch. They go into the kids station and they're flipping through and there's all these different cartoons. So they're looking at and I can't remember the name of all the different movies and stuff like that. So they're going through and it's the lizard one and then the dog one and then this cartoon and the puppies and then whatever. And so then they go, what about this one? Yeah, we can watch that. Dad, we're gonna watch Futurama. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, and that's not even one of the worst.
No,
ones.
it's not.
That's not even horrible, but it's bad enough that I'm not letting an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old watch it.
Mm-hmm.
13-year-old, he's a maybe on that. But even some of that stuff's a bit above his head. And there's some that are even like more than that. Like if they get into it, they can actually go in and search some of the anime. Mm-hmm. And I've like, and I don't really watch a lot of anime, but I've seen some of it. Yeah. And for the most part, there's a lot of violent or action or whatever like that. It's pretty timid. But sometimes you run across one where like it's all this upskirt and down blouse type of stuff where it's the girls like just, the whole thing is just like the girls running their boobs bouncing all over the place and I'm not comfortable with letting them watch that because they're going to tell their mother and she's going to be mad at me.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is, like, just like anime, if you basically take a movie and just animate it instead of just having people in it,
then it's an
that's the gambit. It could be anything.
Right.
It could be any kind of story they want, and people don't understand that. People see cartoons, see something animated, they think this is for children.
Right. Well, like what was that movie that came out? The food one.
Sausage Party.
Sausage Party. That came out, and I was the commercial comes on, and I'm like, oh, this looks like a movie that maybe. At first, I was kind of angry because I hate going to see kids movies anymore, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh god, another movie I'm gonna have to watch with my kids. So it's going along, and then I could tell it's Seth Rogen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Seth Rogen. I could tell it's Seth Rogen's voice, and I'm like, he's not really known for being in kids movies, although he was a voice in Horton Hears a Who. He was in Little Squirrels or something. He was in Kung Fu Panda. Was he in Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He's the mantis in that one. So it didn't alarm. It didn't set off any bells and whistles at me at first.
Should have.
Well, until I got halfway through the preview, and then I went, oh no, that's wildly inappropriate.
Yeah. Another example is Bebe's Kids from the 90s.
I remember that. Yes, Bebe's Kids was definitely not for kids.
Mm-hmm.
My mom let us watch that because she didn't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we watched Bebe's Kids, and being the minority white kid in a poor black neighborhood watching Bebe's Kids, I learned some terms and some things that I was not supposed to have learned at that point in my life. So that was kind of counterproductive for me as far as social status. That held me. That put me in a bad position. I didn't repeat too. I repeated everything, but I didn't repeat too much from Bebe's Kids that actually got me in trouble. Nobody punched me in the nose, so I guess I didn't do too bad.
Well, like,
and I don't really remember it, but I remember it being inappropriate.
so like the other night, I was cleaning my apartment.
Bebe's Kids. I haven't heard Bebe's Kids in forever.
We're Bebe's Kids. we don't die.
We
We
multiply.
multiply.
So you were cleaning your apartment the other day, and then I interrupted your story.
So I'm cleaning my apartment, and I was like, I should watch something on Netflix. I was like, I'll just watch some season 2 of Daredevil because I started a couple weeks ago. Then
You still haven't seen Daredevil?
I've seen season 1. I finally finished season 1 after 2 years.
Aren't you the one that said statute of limitations?
Yeah.
You're the firm believer in that. Like, it's been out long enough that
and
you
I don't
should
care.
have...
I don't care if people
Okay,
vote for me.
so you haven't seen season 2 of Daredevil,
Yeah.
which, by the way, was good, but not as good as the first season. Did you watch Jessica Jones?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what did you think about Jessica Jones?
Disappointed.
I wasn't impressed by that one.
Here's the
It wasn't
thing.
horrible, but it wasn't
Here's
good.
the thing. I saw the trailer for Iron Fist.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my god, I gotta see this. It's gonna be amazing. I gotta see this. Then all my podcasts are like, this is crap, this is slow, this is boring, no one likes it. They whitewashed it, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, did you watch Luke Cage?
I have not. I've watched one episode of Luke Cage.
Luke Cage is really good, except for the only thing I was a little bit weary about that was for a comic book series, it was a little it was a little more graphic than
And racial.
Yeah, there was definitely, and it wasn't like heavily racial, but
Yeah.
it was racial enough to create some tension there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a really good show,
Yeah.
definitely worth watching.
But all the things people were complaining about Iron Fist, I felt about Jessica Jones.
Yeah, Jessica Jones. I don't even really understand why they did Jessica Jones. I don't feel it was necessary for the show.
Because they need her for...
But I don't think she needed her own series.
But they-
like Punisher. Punisher didn't get his own series. He was just thrown in on season 2 of Daredevil.
But Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Daredevil are supposed to work together in some kind of team.
But I feel like you could have worked Jessica Jones into the Luke Cage series. They could have piled those two together.
But that's not
I
how
feel like-
Netflix does this.
I know, but I disagree
But
with
Marvel's been doing decent with their...
Marvel makes some excellent
With their
decisions and
Netflix
does-
series, they've been doing pretty good.
I don't want to complain about it too much, but I
But anyway,
disagree with how
I was
they
going to
make
watch that,
decisions.
and I saw Castlevania.
Yes! I saw you posted about Castlevania. Castlevania has its own show? Like
Yeah,
it's its own series?
it's four episodes right now.
Is
so-
it a cartoon?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm assuming they're going to do more.
Is it similar to the video game?
I don't know because I don't remember. Other than Symphony of the Night, I didn't play a lot of Castlevania.
Okay.
I played Castlevania at Murphy's
Yes?
Mart.
Oh, what?
Murphy's Mart?
Okay.
Hills. That's the other one.
Okay. Wait,
Well, there's two
what?
stores. There's Hills and Murphy's Mart.
Okay.
Back in the 80s.
All right. I don't remember.
You
Murphy's
remember
Mart.
Hills.
I remember Hills.
Everyone, but there's also Murphy's Mart. That's their.
Is that a local thing? Like, are our listeners
I-
in California going to know what Hills is?
I don't know.
All right. What's it's a
Yeah, it's like
yeah. What's the
Ames, Target. It's kind of
like
like
Target? Okay, Target's
it's
universal.
like a small.
Everybody
It's
knows
like a
Target.
smaller version of Target.
Yeah, it's similar. It's all along that line though. Okay.
So, I played the. You remember the quarter version of Castlevania? There's at the arcade.
Yeah.
You had to keep pumping quarters in. I played that once, and then I played it. I tried playing
For
the
our
original.
younger viewers, there used to be these entire out-and-out buildings filled with video games, because video games weren't a cartridge back then. They were literally an entire machine that was the size. They were about, what, like 5 foot tall, 3 foot wide, 3 foot deep. They were a full outball, and it was one single game. Pac-Man, or Pong, or, you know, there was Race Car, this or whatever. There was all these different ones that, and then like as time went on, they got more advanced.
Yeah.
But like video game arcades, there used to be legitimately arcades. Like kids,
with decent video games,
Right.
not just crap ones.
like kids
Not-
now don't know what an arcade is. Like
Yeah.
if you said that, they would have no clue.
And I'm not
what
talking about like Dave and Buster's. They have half the games are like ticket games.
Okay, yeah, like a Dave and Buster's, but like better games.
Yeah. So basically, with this series, you meet this girl. She goes to, I guess, Dracula's castle. She's a doctor. She wants to learn science, and like she's like very. She's not scared. She basically wants to show Dracula humanity in exchange for learning science to cure people.
Okay.
Like she wants to help people because she knows that he has technology. So it's kind of steampunky-ish in that aspect. So they get married. And
Oh, of course.
yeah, they
Why
get
would
married.
they not?
Yeah, they get married. She learns some stuff. They burn her at the stake.
No, is she a vampire at this
No,
point?
she's not a vampire. She's human.
So they get married and she does not become a vampire.
Yeah.
Doesn't he like? Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's
I'll watch it and learn
Yeah.
for myself. But
long story short, I mean, I'm just setting up the rest of the series. It's not spoiling anything. They burn at the stake. Dracula loses his crap. Threatens the town that in 1 year, if they don't leave, he's gonna basically destroy civilization. So Alucard is like, dude, don't do this. This is bad. Whatever. Year comes by. He's like, screw this. I'm killing everybody. And then they showed another tavern, and there's like, Trevor Belmont is drinking. You find out the Belmonts have been like persecuted by the church, and like they were the monster hunters, but the church didn't want them doing it anymore. So he's like the last Belmont. He's drinking himself into a stupor. It's
the Belmonts are like basically like the Van Helsings.
Yeah.
Is that what? Okay.
So basically, it's your classic. You know, my family used to be famous, and I'm good at my job, but I'd rather just drink and walk around. I don't care. And hilarity ensues, and they try and fight him.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And then like there's 3 episodes. They meet the other characters and whatnot. It's really good. I love it.
It's your classic boy meets girl. Boy turns out to be vampire. Girl dies at the stake.
Yeah.
A band of villagers. Villagers go to attack the castle, and then Dracula kills the villagers.
Yeah. But like the thing I like,
tale as old as time.
it's kind of like one of those. It's one of those crappy action movies where it's like, okay, you got the hero. He's drinking at the bar. You know they're gonna try and beat him. You know he's gonna take some damage, but he's gonna kick the crap out of everybody and walk up and say something snarky. Like he's extremely snarky, and I love it. But like one of the scenes is like he's at the bar and they kick him the balls. They do it like twice. So like, kind of leave my testicles alone. And like, you know that stuff would be in the cartoons 20, 30 years ago.
No. Yeah, you weren't pulling that.
So
one
like, you're watching this cartoon. It's like this idea of cartoons. I think there should be like a new definition for cartoons.
I was thinking that too. Like even when we're talking, just there's a category, there's a name for literally everything. Everything
Yeah.
gets its own nomenclature. I mean, if you crap on a table while somebody lays underneath it, that's got a term. Like there is a term for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it that we don't have like? We need like terms for, and maybe there is, and maybe I just don't know them. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm out of this loop. But like, okay, so like if a cartoon is say pornographic in nature, that's what then it's a hentai or hentai or something like that, right? Is that how that category works?
Yeah.
Okay, so but if it's just a movie version or an adult type cartoon, then it's anime. So what are kids' cartoons are just simply cartoons now? Is that is that more or less
Well,
the
the thing
breakdown?
with anime is usually like Japanese animation.
Okay.
So that's why you got Japanese animation, you got Korean animation, you got American animation.
See, I always thought that anime was the term for like.
Well, anime is short for Japanese animation.
Okay.
So,
But I thought that was the adult version of it. Like I thought
Yeah.
like anything that was
anime
involved
can also-
nudity and pornographic.
well, anime can also be children. There's children's anime. There's an adult anime.
See, now that's where I would have got confused.
Yeah.
Because
And a lot of people don't know this stuff.
I'd have been masturbating at Barney the Dinosaur and not figuring out why I'm not getting off. It's just not fair that they don't.
And it's
title
funny
this.
because like I always get into these subculture niche like copies, like anime. Oh, it's just cartoons. And in my mind, I saw like it's not just cartoons. Do I waste my time explaining this to this person? They're not gonna care. Or like when you say the word drone, oh, you're gonna spy on me. I just want to fly fast. I don't care.
It has like a negative connotation.
It seems like
when you
every
say
hobby I get-
anime, like people look at you like
Yeah.
people who don't know. Like, and I didn't know for the longest time. I wasn't aware of it. So like I knew people who like there was people that I worked with, and they were like, "Oh, I just watched this new anime," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I really don't want to have this conversation with you.
Mhm.
Like, this isn't you and I are
Yeah.
not that type of friendship level where we can discuss that. So how about no?" But
Yeah.
that's not what it is. I was the wrong one. In
Well,
that
that's the thing. Like, there's
scenario.
it seems like every hobby I get into, there's always that bad side that everyone knows about. Like we were talking, it hasn't aired yet, or might air. Who knows? Because I'm publishing these out of order. We were talking about furries.
That's right. We didn't get to go to the furry convention.
Nope.
I had to work that weekend because my stupid boss made me go to
My
stupid
coworker.
work.
A couple of my coworkers actually
I'm
went down.
so mad I didn't go to the furry convention.
A couple of my coworkers actually went down. And apparently there's a lot of stuff going in furry stuff. Like, there's like these levels. Like, you know how you see someone running around with the tail and the ears?
Yeah.
That's like level 1. And you start moving up in suits and stuff.
Like Pokemon, they have to evolve.
Exactly. Like, she told me that we sat down for lunch, and she spent half an hour explaining this stuff to me about furries.
About the hierarchy of
And
the,
I'm like,
the
because she
furry.
went down and talked to these people and like took pictures, like they're very nice.
So mad I didn't go. This is crap.
And then you know what? I'm purposely gonna post the furry episode stuff next, and then after that, well, this is going to air after the furry one. So this is going to be.
Do you and let
I am.
They're
It's my podcast. I'm going to do what I want.
That's right.
But like another coworker, she went down the furry parade. She goes, "Those people are genuinely happy. Like they're all nice."
Oh, wackos are always happy. Crazy people are the happiest of the people.
But it's funny because
That's why they're my favorite people.
But like, it's just funny, like, because you got the furries who like people just want to dress up in suits and do stuff. Then you got the furries who want to dress up and actually have sex.
Those are my favorite kind of furries. Those are the furries I want to
You
meet.
got people like me who like watch anime because they're giant robots. Because it's cheaper to draw a giant robot than actually make one and drive it around and get actors. And then you got the people who like to watch tentacle porn. But I always get lumped. It's whatever I like. That dark side of that hobby gets pushed onto me.
That's the side that gets... Because nobody cares. Like, if there's... Like, people who dress up like a puppy dog, nobody cares. People who dress up like a puppy dog and have sex, that's what gets attention. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones. Tentacle porn gets attention. These regular cartoons or movies that are cartoon-based don't get attention. Like, nobody cares about a cartoon movie. Nobody cares about Titan AE. What they care about is that there's some version of it where like the monster lands on our planet and starts raping women. Like that's the one that people go, oh, that's what.
They're like, okay, so.
And let's be honest, everybody kind of sort of wants to see that movie. They just all kind of don't want to be known for seeing that movie. That's why the internet's around, so that you can look at all this perverse stuff without being judged.
So the there's a series of Tinkerbell movies that came out.
Oh yeah, now you're talking. Yeah,
and
tell me more.
So
say it really slow though.
When I was working in the school district, the one teacher showed the Pirate Fairy movie over and over again. And I went down a few times, worked some problems, I actually saw the movie. And it wasn't that bad. So I liked it.
I think I did watch that one.
But I'm thinking...
I definitely watched everything.
Nobody cares about Tinkerbell wanting to be a pirate. Now, if Tinkerbell dressed up in lingerie and started banging other fairies, everybody would be in an uproar.
That I would watch. That movie I would watch. Actually, true story, there's a...
You and Sarah cosplay, and she's Tinkerbell and you're Peter Pan.
I wish. Listen, not that I haven't suggested it. She just isn't going for it. But no, there's and you may have even seen it like the online and stuff where there's like these group of girls that legitimately dress up like, and there's like a whole big thing of like it's not just one set of girls. It's like there's where they take Disney characters in Disney stories and basically sexualize them. So there's
what's that you're on?
I don't know which site it was. It's just there. I've seen it probably a lot of places
right now.
Yes. Listen.
Here's that keys typing.
the chick who plays Tinkerbell, she does this little skimpy Tinkerbell. She's gorgeous. And they have Little Mermaid and Pocahontas and all of them. Like there's a picture of all of them. Like it must be some convention or something where there's a group of girls that are like this over sexualized Disney princesses and stuff. And it's there's a term for that. Rule 34? Is that what it is?
Maybe it's 42.
42? 83? Rule something. This is the episode where Joel and I look up porn.
No, we're not looking up.
I knew eventually it was going to happen, Joel. It was only a matter of time. Rule 42?
That's not the Rule 42.
Try 34. It's rule something. I know this.
I know
I spent a lot of time on it online. Is that it? Where it's basically the rule is anything you can think of has already been done.
Generally accepted internet rule that states the pornography of sexual related material exists for any conceivable subject.
There you go. That's what it is. See, we're educational, Joel. We just taught the audience something new. They probably already knew that because we have a bunch of perverts listening to our show.
So, Velma or Daphne?
Velma or Daphne? Oh, that's a tough one. You know what though? I'm gonna have to say because this kind of goes back to the age-old question of Ginger or Mary Ann, the whole Gilligan's Island thing. But for Velma or Daphne, I gotta go Daphne.
I gotta go Velma.
Really? Yeah, no, I can see that. I kind of saw you go in that direction. But we've always been on opposite ends of that one. Like
here's my logic.
Okay, well, Ginger or Mary Ann. Because I bet we're both Mary Anns on this one.
I'm trying to remember who's who. Ginger
was the movie star. Mary Ann was the southern, the sweet little innocent. Yeah, I gotta get Mary Ann.
So this time, one buddy used to watch a lot of anime, the non-hentai stuff, mind you. Just to clarify.
Okay. But it doesn't need clarified at this point in the conversation.
We'd be watching and like, so which girl would you pick? So there was like 2 or 3 female characters. Like, so who's your favorite? So the one time we were watching this one called Full Metal Alchemist, and I think there's a girl named Winry. I'm like, that's my girl. She's I'm like, why? She works in the library. She reads everything. She remembers everything. Therefore, she knows stuff.
Oh, so you like the smart girls, not me. No, not
No,
me.
I like the well-knowledged girls, not necessarily the smart girls.
Oh, I like the girls that are well-knowledged, but not always necessarily well-read.
I just feel like Daphne is a little dirty.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She might have a little high mileage.
Like, she's not slutty, but she's
She's slutty.
she's closer to slutty than Velma is.
Exactly. Velma knows stuff,
Yeah.
and Velma has low mileage. I like when women light my cars. Low mileage.
Well, we just found our commercial. There you go. Oh, okay. No, well, I mean, yes, but there's something to be said about a girl with a little more experience. Because it's like this. Do you want to go to a dental assistant, or do you want to go to the dentist who's been cleaning and fixing teeth for the past 20 years?
Depends on what you're getting done. The dental assistant does all the cleaning. The dental guy does the actual dental work.
I'm just
So if I'm getting a cleaning, I want the dental assistant.
I like
If I'm getting a
experience.
dental surgeon, if I need to get teeth pulled or root canal.
Just to be clear, we're not talking about teeth, right?
I thought we were talking about teeth.
See, and with my friends, we played the Would You Rather game, like some of the guys that I grew up with and stuff. Like and friends across the board. Just whenever you work with anybody, you kind of fall into that who would you rather type of like, that kind of question. But I always seem to play that game with like people who are just sick and demented. Like it's never like Velma or Daphne.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like, would you rather Roseanne Barr or Jackie Chan? Like
In a dress.
In a dress, yeah.
The one I hear a lot of, and the one they actually do it,
Or the 3-day dead corpse of Halle Berry.
or they did actually Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's murder, marry, sleep with.
Oh, yeah, you cleaned that up, but we call
Yeah.
that shot out of a cannon. That's I don't know if there's other names for that, but we call it shot out of a cannon, and it's marry, F, kill.
Yeah.
And you name 3 people. Yeah, we've all played that one too. We do that a lot, but usually that's like we'll do that with like well, I mean it depends on who you're playing it with, but like when I was when I was working on the dock at the furniture store, we played that game a lot, and we would throw out like different random.
Well,
And that's always fun because usually there's one you get right away, but the other 2 you kind of have to
the
juggle
most
back and
disturbed
forth.
time I've ever done that game was Tara, Chris, and I were talking about Cars 3, Despicable Me 3, and Captain Underpants.
Wait, but you did this
And-
with your wife and her friend about cartoon characters.
No, movies that we wanted to see.
Oh, okay. They were like shot out of a cannon.
It was kind of weird to hear someone say, "Well, I'd murder this Captain Underpants. I'd marry Cars 3."
But I totally bang a minion.
It was weird.
No, here's the thing though. I don't know if I want to do Gru because I feel like with those skinny legs
the
and a
movie,
big upper body.
the movie, as in wanting to see the movie,
No,
not the actual
I've
characters.
changed the subject now. I'm back. I'm saying
There's
I don't-
losers. There's losers in the whole game if you go by the characters, because they're all children's cartoons and stuff, and they're
that's what makes it so much fun. That's what gives it its edge. Mary F. Kill, Lightning McQueen, Gru, or what was the other one?
Captain Underpants.
Captain Underpants, or Kevin Hart.
Speaking of which, sorry Dave yet again. Jumanji. I saw a trailer for the new Jumanji movie.
Oh yeah, no. Who's going to be in this new Jumanji movie? Isn't The Rock going to be in it?
Yeah, The Rock's in it. Kevin Hart's in it.
Okay, yeah, that's right. We
So-
talked about this a little bit before. I
I
love Kevin Hart. I think he's
Yeah,
hilarious.
but here's the
and I like
twist.
The Rock too.
Well, originally it was a board game, and
no, was it a board game before it was a movie, or was it a movie
No.
and then it became a board
I'm
game?
saying in the original movie it was
Right.
a board game they were playing and stuff happened.
Okay.
In this movie, I thought for a second they were remaking The Breakfast Club because they were out rejects who had detention. They had to clean out this room, and they found like this like Atari 2600. So these 4 kids get together and they all pick a character. So it's Dwayne Johnson, Karen Gillan,
Okay.
Kevin Hart, and Jack Black.
Oh, Jack Black's going to be in it too?
Mm-hmm. And
This sounds really good.
So basically, the 4 kids all pick a character, and like the scrawny geeky kid picked The Rock. The real big football player kid gets Kevin Hart.
Okay.
The hot girl gets
What's her face? The girl.
No,
she gets Jack Black.
yeah. And then the other girl who's not so hot, she gets the hot girl who's wearing half her clothes.
Okay.
And they have to go through this game to get out, which I thought was a really good twist compared to what I never watched the original Jumanji. I was never interested, but this looked really good.
Here's the thing about the original Jumanji was a really good movie at the time. I don't know if you could go back and watch it now and truly enjoy it as much, and especially like the whole after Robin Williams went away, like Robin Williams is hands down one of my favorite actors. I remember even whenever I was little, like he was. I wanted to be an actor. You know, I went to school for theater, so like the motivation for me to get into acting was Robin Williams. Like he very definitively was the man who made me want to become an actor. Mm-hmm. So I love Robin Williams.
I thought it was Charlie Chaplin.
No. Buster Keaton, not Chaplin. Buster Keaton was always my favorite. I like Buster Keaton, but the reason that I got into and started learning more and knowing different actors, I idolized Buster Keaton. I thought he was an amazing actor. And that was back in the day when there was no sound.
They didn't do talkies.
Yeah, there was no talkies, right? So Buster Keaton was an amazing talent. Chaplin got all the glory, but Buster Keaton truly was probably, in my opinion, I think he was the best actor of that time. He was the most capable, coordinated, and fun to watch. Chaplin took a lot of the credit, but really a lot of the stuff that people think Chaplin did was really Buster Keaton moves and Buster Keaton skits and stuff. Chaplin did movies, but he really wasn't as
what was that
slapstick like Buster Keaton was.
What was that movie where it was like a silent film?
Benny and June.
No.
Oh, okay. That's where you were going.
No, it was a silent film, and the guy was like a silent film. Like he was an actor. He was like the star of silent film, and they started doing movies where they were talking. The whole movie was a silent movie to the very end. It came out like a few years ago.
I don't remember that one. I didn't see that one. If I did see it, it's not one I've seen, but it's maybe, I don't even know if I know it. But either way, Jumanji was a good movie, but I don't know if it's something that you could watch now and truly appreciate as much. And it was definitely more of like a kid movie, so it's harder to kind of sit through and appreciate the same way.
I don't know. I find that I can watch older stuff and appreciate
some you can, some you can't. This wasn't campy enough to really be fun.
Well,
like you and I love those old campy.
Yeah. Well, like my wife never
movies.
saw Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure.
That you can go back and watch.
She did not understand why they were talking the way they were talking. Like she's one of those people that can't watch older movies and enjoy them for what they were back then.
Well, shame on her. Because Bill and Ted was a great movie. Excellent Adventure was a great movie. Bogus Journey,
garbage.
Garbage. Yeah. But I like The Rock too. I like that he's done a ton of movies too. And he's just one of those guys. For a monstrous guy, he's got a great sense of humor, and he's a good actor. Like he's a super talented guy.
Did you see the Facebook video? It was a spoof video. Him and his agent were talking about what his next movie is going to be. And like they put him in all these weird roles, like he shouldn't be in. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. And they keep like putting him in different roles.
Well, like the Tooth Fairy, because he did that movie.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of movies that were like
every action
one of the first ones he did. It wasn't the first movie he did, but he was one of these early on ones. Was the sequel to Get Shorty.
Oh yeah,
Be Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was Be Cool, and he played a gay bodyguard, and you would not expect, like, knowing The Rock, that he was this wrestler and he was tough and he was like hardened, and then all of a sudden he comes out in this movie and he's this flamboyant bodyguard, and you're like, you wouldn't expect it from him, but he plays roles like that. Like he has no and I admire him and I love him for it. He doesn't really have a sense of what's the word? Not necessarily modesty, but humility. He has a great sense of humility. I think he's in what's the new one? Zac Efron.
Baywatch.
Baywatch. They redid awesome. Baywatch. Did you see it yet?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, you and I were talking about this before.
Yeah.
Him in Baywatch is the perfect choice.
Exactly.
And I like Zac Efron too. I know that's like one of those ones.
I used to hate him.
Zac.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of those guys you feel like you should hate, but for some reason everything I see him in, I love him. I love watching him in movies. I feel like he's such a great talent. I feel like he's always funny and he's energetic and he's charismatic and he's everything you want to see in a movie. And same with like The Rock. I think The Rock too. He's another guy where he's just like, but I like The Rock because he plays characters and he plays parts that you don't necessarily, you don't look at him and expect him in those particular roles. But then he turns around and he plays a role where he's like this tough guy. Like he does the Fast and the Furious movies where he's like, wow, he's pretty badass. But then you watch him play like the Tooth Fairy or whatever, And I haven't seen Baywatch yet, but it's on my to-do list. But I love watching The Rock.
I love
movies.
Baywatch.
Well, I like Baywatch because I like the original Baywatch, but like when Pam Anderson was in it.
You know the guy playing Aquaman?
I like watching it on silent. Yes, that's the same dude that was in Game of Thrones. Yeah,
he was in the original Baywatch.
Was he really?
Yeah.
What is it? Mimosa, something Mosa.
Big dude.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. But yeah, I know you're talking.
He always do the Dothraki from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. He wasn't even in Game of Thrones for all that long.
No.
He was like, what was the first or maybe
First
into
season.
the second season?
It was the first season. That was it.
But like you still remember him from that.
Yeah.
Like he was.
But like
pretty
he was
impressive.
like a badass.
Yeah.
Like if the Dothraki wanted to cross the whatever sea they had to cross, it's game over. I don't care who you're fighting, it's over.
Yeah. He had this like strange, like it was almost like he was a bad guy, but you still loved him.
No, he wasn't a bad guy. He was just.
They kind of portrayed him a little like a bad guy.
See, I didn't see it that way. I just saw him as it was one of those things of he is kind of like Genghis Khan, but not really, and they love horses. Not like they loved horses,
Winner.
but they love horses. They love horses like a little girl would love horses. Well, no. Well, I don't know.
You're on your own. I am not saving you from this. You're digging your own.
They love horses like a veterinarian would love horses.
It's okay to love your pets. It's just not okay to love your pets.
Favorite kid, pets, perhaps spayed or neutered. And maybe you should get yourself spayed or neutered, just saying.
I need to get spayed or neutered.
Yeah, you do. 4 kids, that's enough.
Too many. That's some bad decisions along the way. But yeah, I'm excited for Baywatch. What else is coming out that's going to be good?
Well, Baywatch has already been out and gone.
Is it not in theaters anymore?
I don't think so.
All right, well,
And by the time this airs,
that's what I don't mind catching on video. But like,
Yeah.
and then being like kind of the nerd that I am, I really like. I want to see Spider-Man in theaters. I really want to see Guardians of the Galaxy in theaters. And as soon as Deadpool hits theaters, Deadpool 2, as soon as that hits theaters, I'm rushing to see that.
It's kind of funny because my wife and her friend go see a lot of movies, and like we go to see movies too. And the question I always get is, "Do you want to see this movie in the theaters, or are you gonna wait?" And
Yeah.
I'm always like they have I never saw the Minions movie yet. I still wait for it to come out on DVD. I still want to see it.
Yeah, it's worth waiting on for video.
And then like Despicable Me 3, I'm like, yeah, I'll wait for a DVD. I don't really care to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
Now the first one had that trailer of the kid with the airplane, and he's like basically he's falling through the air.
First Despicable Me.
Yeah, he's looking at the plane, he's looking at himself, and like he's acting like the plane's flying. I had to see that in the theater. That scene alone. But the second one, I wasn't that impressed with.
Yeah, I think that's another one. Just like the Cars movies,
Yeah.
they fed off of the popularity of the first movie and thought that it was going to hang on, and it did all right. The second Despicable Me movie, I didn't mind that. I thought it was pretty good. The Minions movie didn't really bring it home for me. It just wasn't. It wasn't what I wanted to see. I thought it was. I thought they were playing too much off of the characters that like they made the character popular and then they tried to cash in on that, and I just didn't feel it was what it should have been personally. What else? What's the highlight of the summer? What's the the movie that you either did see or want to see? What's the big blockbuster that's what's your top movie of this summer, 2017? If you had to pick just one.
Definitely Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yep.
Okay. That's I think so too. And without now I've gone so long without seeing it that I'm kind of like, it feels like I'm gonna go see it and then I'm gonna want to talk about it and everybody else is gonna be like, dude, that was
You got my number.
forever ago. Yeah. How come we didn't go see that? We haven't been out to see a movie in a while.
I think it's a new job.
That's probably a lot of it. I'm working like crazy, so maybe I'll just quit my job and then we'll just go see movies.
We could always make this a movie podcast. We'll make a new one, Dave. Okay, we'll make a different podcast for that.
No, you know what, Dave? We'll do what we want to do, and you can't stop us. How many listeners do we have? Dave's like 1 of 8, so we probably shouldn't. Yeah, we can't afford to lose Dave. I'm kidding, Dave. We love you. And on that note, I believe we have to wrap this up.
Yes, we do.
So thanks for joining us. Make sure you tune in next time here at streamofconsciousnesspodcast.com. Make sure you like and follow, subscribe on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and streamofconsciousnesspodcast.com.
Even if you don't want to do that, just text me, Facebook message me like you guys normally do whenever you guys talk
Yeah,
about
like, we
stuff.
pretty much know everybody who listens to our show.
Yeah.
Is there anybody listening to our show that doesn't know us personally?
I don't know.
We need to market better.
Yeah, we do.
We need better advertising.
I know a girl who can help me with marketing.
Hey, tell your friends. Tell your mom. Tell your cousins.
Hide your wife, hide your kids.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Later.